It's Jordan! I have what I think is an absolutely fantastic job because I get to play in schools with things like this, which pretty much does what it says on the tin. It's a desktop rocket engine. Now, occasionally I do get media inquiries for my desktop rocket engine, which is kind of cool, because it means I get to go off and do science on television and things like that. So it was a good few years ago, I was contacted by an organisation that was doing something called Space Cadets on Channel 4, where they were sending a bunch of chumps into space, or pretending to at least, if you remember that one. And he wanted to have the desktop rocket engine on there. And he thought it was absolutely great. But, he said, can you make it run on salami? He'd seen somebody else do it. Would you like to see the video?
Yeah.
We've got solid fuel here, and we're using gaseous, that's as in a gas, oxygen coming out of here. Comes through this blue pipe up to here, and we have our ignition. What should happen is the ignition lights up in here. You'll see a bright light in here, and there's a very, 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 very small version of a rocket nozzle there. Okay. Of course, it's very small because if we had a large one on here, this is a rocket engine and it will go flying. Wow. This has been specifically designed not to fly.
How dangerous is this?
In real terms, it's not very dangerous at all. However, you'd probably best buy your safety specs. And they won't let you do it.
Do I need these as important?
Not really, but they look good. Right, can you grab a fire extinguisher and make sure nothing happens? Cheers.
You said it was safe.
It is safe, don't worry, trust me.
Do you do the classic countdown and blast off?
I tend to. Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Alright, hang on a second and then give me 3, 2, 1 blast off.
Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, blast off!
In my defence, it's very difficult to light 2.
Blast off!
Nope. No fire. They
No
promised
fire.
me they wouldn't use it. Okay, we'll go again.
3, 2, 1, blast off! That was brilliant!
What's she supposed to show you? I've got to carry on! Okay, well, it just goes to show you can pretty much use whatever you want for one of these things. Now, the next presenter that contacted me, unfortunately, made me sign a non-disclosure agreement saying I wasn't allowed to say anything about the organisation that I was working for. So, and he contacted me, and again, he said, that's great, but can you strap it to a skateboard? At this point I was thinking, okay, that's fun, so we got a nitrous oxide tank instead of oxygen, or as well as oxygen, and we put it on there and we got it going and it went about that far. Which is not very good. You know, we were hoping for a little bit more than that. I'm sure anyone here that's done anything to do with sort of engineering or rocketry understands that 5-minute fixes never work. While one of the guys was going off and refilling the nitrous tank, I literally just got an electric drill and drilled out the igniter hole by an extra couple of millimetres. 5 minutes later, we put it back on again. We weren't even filming it, one of the cameras was still rolling, and this is what happened. I have to say, this is a valve, and I'm over here on the end of a long lanyard, waiting to sort of pull it to open it, because we're working on such a budget we couldn't even afford a solenoid at this point. But it did work. That's the oxygen feed, just to get it burning inside.
3, 2, 1.
So I was quite happy, and I sent that off to the guy, and I thought he was going to be really, really happy with that. And I got what by now was becoming a bit of a standard reply. He really liked it, but what he really wanted us to do was to build 3 rocket-powered skateboards running on kebab meat, fish and chips and pizza to see which one works best, and then put the best one onto a Sinclair C5 and let one of the presenters race it against the other one on an old lady's mobility scooter. As I'm sure you can imagine, I said, no, of course not. Also, I didn't just show you that picture, I could actually get in trouble for that. What I do have have is again one of the test runs that we did. This is also a bit of a history of the different hairdos I've had over the years. Just to sort of explain how this is working, there's fish and chips in there. We're blowing oxygen in the end to get it going. That's nitrous oxide, and I wanted the hair on Sinclair C5 with the button to make it go.
3, 2, 1.
Now that may not look like much, but I guarantee you that is the world's fastest rocket-powered Sinclair C5 powered on fish and chips. So, we had yet another producer contact us, and I'm thinking, really, we can't really go any further from here. And it was from an organisation called Incredible Edibles that no one has ever heard of. Has anyone here heard of this TV programme? It's like some weird thing the BBC's doing, no one's ever heard of it. And he thought it was great, but he wanted me to make it not be a rocket. He decided that for some reason, rockets were a little bit passé for his kids, and so he wanted it to be a blowtorch for them, because apparently blowtorches are the new rocket, it's like the new black or something. So I said, you're paying me, that's fine. And unfortunately, I was actually planning to sort of end up with the finale and actually have it here, and you should have seen the email. I got stomped on for that, I wasn't allowed to do that. So, in the best culinary tradition, here's one I made earlier. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do this demonstration live at Science Showoff, so I've pre-recorded it so that you can still see it.
I already said that.
Well, I didn't know that, did I? I was recorded last week. Oh, don't be sulky. Look, I'm not doing that. Look, why don't we work together, John? The audio over here is kind of rubbish, so why don't you do the audio and I'll do the video. Does that work?
Yeah, alright then.
Brilliant. Okay, teamwork, eh? Right, so butter. They wanted us to burn some butter with this, and so we've got some sugar inside the blowtorch there. And that's going to be burnt with the oxygen that's coming out of the oxygen cylinder here. I had to convince them that it wasn't cheating using some of the energy from the oxygen in the combustion. To get it going, we used this sort of pick stuff, igniter cord. I found out the rats have been at it in the shed, so if there are any exploding rats in my house, I'm really sorry. And it's absolutely fantastic stuff. I use it for all of my projects, so I'll just show you a little bit here. If you've ever seen sort of like a Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote film, then it's that stuff, basically. And you can pretty much do whatever you want. We coil a load of that inside, so you can even put it in water. And we coil a load of it inside to get it burning, which I will snap to a bit. For time purposes, I've cut that bit out. Now, what we've got here is they've got a certain number of sort of culinary calories, I don't know what the official term is, in the butter versus sort of physicists' calories number of for the sugar there. I mean, they got sort of their calories and their calories mixed up. A lot of what you're seeing there from the flame is actually coming off the butter, which is rather amusing, seeing as what they were worried about with the oxygen. Excuse me, I'm going to go turn off the fire alarm. And, do you know what? When I first did this presentation, it was 14.5 minutes long. Job done. If you do want to know any more, I'm at the bar and I'm drinking cider. Thank you.